Senior Day in Gainesville. Point guard Chris Chiozza being honored. He is one assist away from becoming the program's all-time leader. A big one from the SEC. Florida hosting Kentucky. We've got it for you on CBS.
Michael Jordan. They won it. Wow. Oh, my goodness. How about that? Oh, boy. Unbelievable. Dreams to come true. As good as it gets.
On the road to the Final Four, we join you today from Gator Country, and action from the SEC. Number 23 Kentucky matched up with the Florida Gators. Look at the standings in the conference. The number 3 seed in next week's conference tournament still up for grabs with Arkansas, Kentucky, and Florida all battling. Welcome courtside, everybody. I'm Andy Go along with Jim Spinargle. It's March. You can feel it. It's just a special feeling in the air. And we know that both of these teams have had rough patches this year. They're clicking now. And that's the most important thing. It's happening at the right time this season for both squads.
Yeah, Florida has been very inconsistent all season long, but the last 3 games they're holding opponents to just 60 points, so they've figured it out defensively. Kentucky, on the other hand, over their last 4 games, that 4-game winning streak, they're scoring almost 90 points per game, so something has to give.
And the Wildcats are becoming an elite defensive team as well, as we check out our AT&T fast analysis.
Well, one of the things they do very, very well is they really defend the perimeter. They'll come out, but they're usually under control when they're defending the 3-point strike. So one of the things that Florida does so well is they shoot it well from 3. Watch defensively, though, how Kentucky will defend them. And Chris Chiozza on the other side for Florida. He's the motor. Last year making a huge shot in the tournament, and then obviously playing the passing lanes as much as possible. One of the keys, though, this afternoon will be how many easy buckets Florida gets in their transition.
It is the 140th all-time meeting. Florida hosting Kentucky. We've got all the action for you coming up. Starting lineups. Opening tip on Senior Day in Gainesville. CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by USAA. Auto and home insurance for the military and their families. Chick-fil-A's Egg White Grill. And by Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling. Regular season finale. It is Kentucky and Florida. John Calipari now 3rd all-time in Kentucky's win list behind Adolph Rupp and Joe B. Hall. Here's the starting 5 the Wildcats will go with. Diallo, Gilgeous-Alexander, Richards, Knox, and Gabriel. Meanwhile, for Florida, Hudson, Kulachov, Allen, Chiozza, and Kevarius Hayes. No Dante Bassett. He is out with a concussion that he suffered in the win over Alabama. Mike White, SEC Coach of the Year last season. We're just trying to make sure that resume is ready to go for Selection Sunday. Doug Shows, Don Daly, and Byron Jarrett are officiating crew. Kentucky leads this all-time series with a mark of 139. We're underway in Gainesville. Florida controls the tip. Couple of keys you're looking for here today.
Well, I'm looking at Florida for the first part of this game to make sure they don't turn the basketball over. They're one of the best in the country at not turning it over, and the rebounding. Kentucky was plus 11 the first time they met.
Hudson banks it in to get things started on a drive to the hole.
One of the other keys, too, will be just that, the drives to the basket, because Kentucky will defend Florida's 3-point shooting. Let's see if Florida can drive it at them a little.
A near turnover scooped up by Gilgeous-Alexander.
One of the things that Florida does well, they've been undermanned from time to time this year, but do they play hard? And I would expect it here today.
Diallo attacking, denied. A tie-up. He was met by Kevarius Hayes, and possession arrow to Kentucky.
So remember, you can go straight up, which he does. Hayes goes straight up. He doesn't bring the hands down. Good call from the officials. A beautiful defensive play to start.
Wildcats have to work quickly. The scoop to the hoop, no. Shot clock doesn't reload. It doesn't matter. They're out of bounds. And Kulachov took a shot.
He seems to always take a shot. He's always in the middle of everything. A little full court action here for Kentucky to get things going.
Bounce it in for Allen. Chiozza, the primary ball handler, but Allen can take over those duties if necessary. Allen matched up with Diallo on the outside. 1 minute gone by. Florida with a 2-0 lead.
Pretty.
Kulichov! That was crafty.
Well, a little set there. They're going around the horn, and they're going to exchange the basketball. But Kulichov says, hey, I'm not going to do that. If you're going to jump out and switch on us, you better make sure I can't drive it to the basket. Well designed.
Double transfer gives Florida a 4-0 lead. Knox launches and connects. It's a 3.
He's the steady guy for this team. If Knox can hit his outside shots, it opens up a lot of interior play for Kentucky.
Kulichov, clear it for Chiozza. Hands it to Kulichov. Jumper on the way, no. And the long rebound to Richards for Kentucky.
Florida doesn't focus that often on the blocks, so they don't look to the post, even though they have Hayes in there.
Gilgeous-Alexander. He's got Kulichov. Nice move. Ball got knocked around. Gilgeous-Alexander buries it from the side.
Nice steady recovery by him also. Twice he's been in traffic, not making the initial decision real well.
Chiozza on a kick. Hudson left hand. No good. Richards tried to get it to Gabriel. He wasn't looking. But then Kentucky fortunate because Kulichov is throwing his body around. A foul call.
And when you take a look at this outside play, watch the big swing that's going to come in this play in terms of the setup. So 3 guys will touch it. Here comes the swing, and nobody picks up. No switch. Nice job by the Gators.
Got an early substitution as Keith Stone checks in, replacing Kulichov, who picked up the foul. 5-4 Kentucky. First meeting between these two teams January 20th. Florida survived 66-64 at Rupp.
And Stone has been coming off the bench the last 2 games for Florida. Last game out had 8 against Alabama, so has been playing well off the bench.
Gabriel corner pop.
Watch out.
Way off. Long rebound leaks out to Diallo, but there was a foul on the rebound action as Hayes used the body on Richards. Stream live 24/7 highlights, scores, and news free across all your connected devices with the all-new CBS Sports HQ. Hayes picks up the personal. New shot clock for Kentucky. Gilgeous-Alexander, so long, so athletic. Knox off the rim, no. And the rebound cleared by Hayes.
Watch Chiozza try to get to the middle.
Chiozza, pull up pop, book it.
He gets to the middle of the floor probably as well as any guard in the country in college basketball. The other part, his decisions are basically perfect. Doesn't turn it over much.
6-5 Florida. Gabriel trying to take the baseline.
Yep.
Gabriel steps. It's a travel.
Yeah, good call too. Little baseline, good closure defensively. And so you watch defensively. Now he's in trouble. He picks it up and he keeps sliding. Yeah, he's picking it up more than once. That's an easy call for the officials. Here's Mr. Decision. Right down the middle of the floor. If you back up just a touch, his decision, bang, he's going to make you pay.
The sophomore Gorjak Gak has checked in for Florida. No Dante Bassett, so they have to be smart about using their size. 6-5 lead for the Gators. Ball fake. Clear it for Allen. 13 to shoot. Swing it. Stone putting it on the deck. Backing in on Diallo.
He's got a size advantage.
Stone pivots. Shot clock winding down. Chiozza lets it fly. No good on a 3-ball. Oh, what a rebound. Stone clears it. And he was on the baseline, out of bounds.
So even though he goes out of bounds, it's the effort that Mike White, coach of Florida, is looking for, and he's getting it right here, going after it. And kind of interesting that none of the Kentucky players, except for one, are really going after the glass defensively. That's one of their strengths.
Jared Vanderbilt in. Quade Green in for Kentucky. John Calipari will mix and match throughout the game.
Well, the bench has been so important during this win streak.
Gilgeous-Alexander on a kick. That won't go. P.J. Washington in the game as well as it rims out. Kentucky opens up 2 of 6 from the field. Hudson, the pull-up jump. He was fouled in the act by Knox. Hudson can be instant offense for this Florida team. And he'll head to the free throw line when we come back. 6-5, Florida in front of timeout. 1-point game early. Let's start with Lowe's for this meaningful moment. Jalen Hudson, the transfer from Virginia Tech. Excellent stroke. Got that scorer's mentality, Chippy.
He really does. And when you think about the last two games, he's 16 of 27 from the floor. Obviously playing very good basketball and timely basketball. So he's going to have to put some shots down from the three-point line. But what we've also seen so far is that Kentucky is kind of leaning out, which they do. They play well on the perimeter. And Florida has been baiting them just a little bit in terms of going to the basket. So indecision by Kentucky on the perimeter so far.
Jalen Hudson, 72% shooter at the stripe, averaging 15.4 points per game. Florida's leading scorer this season. A big wing at 6'6", 192 out of Richmond, Virginia. And third free throw coming. So keep in mind, Hudson was not on the team a year ago. Florida made that run in the NCAA tournament. There was no Igor Kulichov as well. Hudson had to sit his transfer year. Kulichov was playing at Rice, started his career at Arizona State. So a double transfer. Right. Kulichov, a graduate student.
Yeah, and he gives him that hard-nosed effort every single night. Not afraid to mix it up at both ends of the floor, especially rebounding.
4-game winning streak for Kentucky. That coming after 4 straight losses. Foul called.
That might have been Stone in the middle of the floor.
It is. Talked to John Calipari about this group, and he said, look, last 4 games, we've defined roles. Everybody's playing for one another. And by his own admission, he said it took a little while to figure out where everybody fit in with this group. Gilgeous-Alexander, the drive to the hole with a purpose.
Finally gets a little baseline action going across the left side where they haven't had anything. The delay of game just then, somebody swatting the ball.
So the difference during the losing streak, they couldn't score. They couldn't shoot. They weren't rebounding well. It's been a different story over the last 4 games.
Yeah, and Cal also said that he's scrimmaging a lot. This time of the year, they generally don't, but he's mixing and matching, and his bench has been extraordinary the last 4 games.
Knocked to the outside. Allen was trying to get it to Gak. Turnover, Florida. Pull-up pop. Gilgeous-Alexander comes up short. Flying in, Washington, and he gets the roll on the interior.
Well, when they played the first game in January, it was plus 11 off the glass for Kentucky. Florida cannot allow them, especially on the offensive glass, to keep pounding it down low and going after it.
Stone lines it up, drains it. It's a triple.
Well, it's a pretty looking stroke, too. 40% on the season. And if you tuck behind the screen or give him a split second, he's going to go for it and let it rip.
Florida opens up 4 of 7 from the field. They've got a 12-9 lead on Kentucky. Washington, a lot of strength on the inside. Finishes off the window.
And did you notice how Gak did not square up? He kind of let him slip just a little bit. Unlike the last few possessions, once you let a big guy slip like that, he's too powerful, Washington, at 6'7", 240, to blast to the basket.
Chiozza, the bounce off the hands of Stone. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Kentucky.
So watch how he slips by. You see, he gets the shoulder on the inside. Once you get that shoulder either on the inside or past the defender, you're in good shape. And then work the glass. Well, he is really, and Coach Cal, very, very happy with the way he's played as of late.
Stone denied on the outside by Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt has been an X factor for Kentucky.
And I think him and Washington have been the keys.
Washington, they've got great chemistry. Inside Vanderbilt, up and down.
Yeah, that might be it's going to be a walk. I thought he had the handle on the ball.
Vanderbilt is claiming that he got hit, and that's what forced the travel. Officials disagree, as Vanderbilt has put it together the last 4 games, rebounding the ball so well, double figures in that category. He missed nearly 3 months with the left foot injury, so there was rust when he came back. And John Calipari, again, trying to figure out what kind of player he was and how he would fit in.
Well, what Calipari has figured out that Vanderbilt and Washington play very well together, so that's why they'll play extended minutes off the bench together.
Hudson, the crossover. The fadeaway. Oh, that's sweet. Jalen Hudson stroking it from the outside.
Well, it's not only sweet, Ian, but very difficult, too. Not a bad defensive effort, but a little pull away with some separation.
And a 3-point lead for Florida. We approach 13 minutes to go in the first half. Green cans it from the outside. It's a triple. Quade Green He's picked up his game in recent weeks as well.
He's averaging 14 over the last 3 games. He may be the very most important player coming off the bench as the point guard.
Working around the perimeter. Kulichov back in.
Good no shot there. The ball was deflected a little bit.
Chiozza on a switch. He's got Diallo. Chiozza sizing him up. Screen. 6 to shoot. Chiozza looking for a crevice. And a foul called.
So when you take a look, watch the separation here. He gets him going towards the basket in just a little bit. Falls back with his shoulders towards the free throw line. That's what allow you to get your shot off. And here's Green, who's just been playing and shooting the basketball very, very well. He's had 2 threes in each of the last few games. So not a guy who's not afraid to come off a screen and shoot it, and they look for him.
Foul on Vanderbilt. Chiozza, the senior from Memphis, Tennessee, shoots it at 79% of the free throw line. We asked Mike White, what has he seen in Chiozza? Remember, he played a year under Billy Donovan before Coach Donovan moved on to Oklahoma City in the NBA. So White inherited Chiozza. He said steady maturation more than anything else. He has put on some muscle, high basketball IQ. He did recruit him down in Memphis, watched him on the AAU circuit. Washington on a kick. Green lines it up. Rebound, Vanderbilt and Diallo were battling on the inside. It was Diallo who got a piece of it, but it didn't go down. 1-point lead for Florida. Stone leaves it. Kulichov, the looper.
It's like one of those catches where you don't think the ball is going to get to him, and Kulichov ends up with it. I think he saw the ball coming, but I think he was surprised that it got to him. Nice little finish, though, from 5 feet away. Get on it. Who wants it?
Green had it knocked away. And a tie-up possession arrow to Florida.
That's getting on the ball when you can't see the ball on the floor.
Monday on CBS, it's a great night of comedy with Kevin Can Wait, Man with a Plan, Superior Donuts, and the new comedy Living Biblically. All new Monday at 8, 7 Central, only CBS. Mike Okaru in for Florida, sharing the backcourt with Chiozza, so that's a freshman and a senior teaming up. Kentucky, youngest team in the country, and the freshmen dominate the scoring. Chiozza on a kick. Stone fires in and out. Hayes with the offensive board.
A tough pass to get it out and save it.
Out of bounds. He bounced it off Kentucky right in front of Calipari. Okaru with the save.
Couple of thinking plays just then in terms of saving the basketball. First one, you really don't have a chance to get it because this is a tough play because you're falling out of bounds. And does he think he's not out yet? Ooh. That's an interesting call. Yep, he's out. Diallo was out. That's a good call from the officials. Well, Gators up 3, and here's that play along the sideline. I know you want to be an official someday in your second career, but watch how difficult this call is. Up in the air, Diallo's out of bounds, so once his foot hits down out of bounds and it's thrown against him by Okaru, then it's, even if it bounces back and hits Okaru, it's still dead because Diallo was standing, had his foot out of bounds.
I bought the uniform, Jimmy. I wear it around the house. That's it.
That's what your wife told me. I figured I'd get that in sooner or later. Good luck with the new career.
17-14 Florida. 11:36 to go in this first half. Allen whips it inside. Kulichov the ball fake. Kick it out. Okaru lost it. Out of bounds. Turnover, Florida. Big day of college basketball here on CBS. Coming up, Big Ten semifinal action. Michigan State and Michigan, Penn State and Purdue. From Madison Square Garden, Jim Nance, Bill Raftery, Grant Hill, Tracy Wolfson will have the call. Gilgeous-Alexander.
Good hands.
Knocked away. It's Kayvon Allen. Gets it ahead. Oh, going to the hole for the jam.
2 good plays there by Allen defensively with the strip. And a lot of times you see players want to drive that ball the entire length of the floor by themselves. A little flip pass up ahead, a beautiful delivery, and so unselfish.
That is 5 Kentucky turnovers and a 5-point lead for Florida.
And they get a touch on the blocks, Kentucky. They're long down deep.
Catch and shoot. Knox. Now Richards went in there and a foul called.
So here comes the defensive strip by Allen. And see, he could have taken that the whole way, but he's smart enough to give it up. And they get the short two. And a nice breakaway transition bucket, which is what they need. Was there a little warning over there for Coach Cal?
It was. John Calipari ranging out beyond the coaching box, and he's giving it to Doug Shows right now. No technical.
No, you could go a long way over there, but there is a line.
Florida shooting it at 58% from the field. Hayes gets a touch out front. Okaru.
Got him there.
The stutter step. Doesn't get the roll. Hayes got his hands on it, and it's out of bounds off of Kentucky.
I like the decisions that Florida's making, trying to get to the middle of the floor. Okaru just then had defensively had his man on his back. It's a perfect time. Got away with one there too. Richards with the grab.
New shot clock for Florida to work with.
There's the screen.
Trigger in. Corner pop. Allen side rim. Rebound. Ricochets to the outside and scooped up by Allen.
I think they can get a better shot than that. It's a nice little set, but well defended again by Kentucky.
Kulichov against Washington. The fade. He's savvy.
Yeah.
Foul called.
You know, it's a prayer that he throws up at the end of that play, but it's really a smart play. And you use that word savvy, and I would agree with you because he understands from Mike White that he's going to get a bump. So the second part of the play is just a prayer that he's thrown up because he knows that he got that initial contact right off the bat.
Mike White telling us that he just loves his toughness. And Kulichov, during the recruiting process, asked Mike White, could I play some power forward? And Mike White thought to himself, really? You want to play the four? You're 6'5", 205. And Kulichov felt, based on this basketball odyssey that he's been through in his life, that he could find some matchup advantages for himself.
Yeah, from the power forward position when he's playing there at 6'5", it gives him quickness, just like we saw offensively. So he can take advantage of that by putting it on the deck.
6-point lead for Florida. Wenyen Gabriel back in for Kentucky.
Nice little set here for Knox.
Knox drives it in. The floater is good and a foul. Kevin Knox knows how to score.
And one of those little down screens in terms of being able to put that together. There's the screen. He doesn't really hit Gabriel's shoulder, but he gets by, and then on the way to the basket, he's just too long and too good. He's deceiving. Remember, he's 6'9". Sometimes you think the way he moves, he might be 6'6", 6'7", but 6'9", he goes over a lot of people.
6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan. Second foul on Igor Kulichov. So Keith Stone back in. Knox converts. That's the first Kentucky free throw attempt of the first half. They trail Florida by 3. Pressure. Gilgeous-Alexander will back off now as Allen handles it for Florida. Okaru loops it. It's Gap.
Gets a guard. Damn, don't put
Double
it down.
team.
Yep.
Stripped out of there by Gilgeous-Alexander. Acceleration by Diallo. Find the open man. Knox launches. Side rim on a 3. Rebounded by Allen.
They're just trying to beat Kentucky down the floor. Look at this. Wide open.
Puts it on a rack attack.
They're trying to get down the floor. They don't want to make this a run and gun type of game, but Florida wants to make sure that they're beyond selective when it comes to pushing the ball down the floor, and if they have something, they're going with it.
Inside, the turnaround, Diallo, no. The flip doesn't go for Vanderbilt, and Florida rushing the other way.
Nice.
Hudson, hot hand, no. Long rebound, Diallo. Up and down the floor we go. Diallo stripped to the ball. A foul is called. Allen goes down.
That's Okoro who's going to whack out front to stop the ball coming through. So early on in this game, if you can get down the floor, so push it down and make things happen. Look at the spread, though. Guys on the wings, they're making sure that nobody's around them, and then when you have an opening, bang, you just flush it to the middle of the floor. Where is everybody? The long length of Kentucky not home. They can't help with rotation because they're looking to spring out to the shooters on the wings.
Well, the officials are going to take a look at the contact that took place right in the paint here. Diallo stripped of the ball, and then the takedown as Allen hit the deck.
So here's the bump, and this is the initial foul call. So it's afterwards, is there a pull down? I don't know if there's a pull down. I think basically he lost his balance against Allen loses. Watch the lower part of the body. All right, now there's a little entanglement, but then he goes over his right knee, and I think that's just a basketball play. I'd be shocked if there's anything more.
Jimmy, the foul was called on Okaru of Florida.
Yeah, the first hit. Yep.
So the officials are now checking to see if there's anything beyond that. It had nothing to do with the Okaru hit. It had everything to do with Diallo following through and knocking Kayvon Allen to the deck.
To my eye, when you look at this play, it looks like they get their arms tangled up. Right there,
yes.
They're tangled, okay? And now look at Allen. He starts to fall over the foot and the right knee. I really don't see anything beyond the initial, which that was, as you just touched on, is not the foul they're worried about.
The push was on Okaru, and then that's when the contact happened between Diallo and Kayvon Allen.
Yeah.
It's a play on.
Yeah, I think so.
Common foul on Okaru, and nothing beyond that.
And I think that's 100% correct.
22-17 Florida. 8:47 to play in this first half. And Diallo heads to the bench for Kentucky.
A few nights ago when Kentucky played Ole Miss, in the beginning of that game, there was a lot of action in the first 6 minutes. A couple of technical fouls, reviews. It was kind of on the ugly side, if you will. We'll see if it continues to heat up a little bit with the intensity here with these two teams in this rivalry.
Kentucky shot 50% in that win over Ole Miss. They are shooting 37% in this first half. Gilgeous-Alexander, pull up.
That's a tough shot. They're playing like they're young right now at the offensive end.
There's Chiozza. Kick to the side.
Good decision to pull that one out. Nothing there for Hudson.
So he clears it for Chiozza. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Trying to extend this lead.
Watch for the backdoor cut. There it is.
Stone missed it. And the rebound snatched by Knox.
They had it set up perfectly.
Up the floor quickly. Pull up jump. Green. No. Rebound. Hudson couldn't grab it. Stone trying to save. And Florida maintains it. Allen leaves it for Chiozza.
This is 4 on 5. Wait for Stone to get back in.
Chiozza, the penetration. Circles. Now backs it out in a mismatch with Knox.
Little Steve Nash-like.
Knocked to the outside by Gak after the miss by Chiozza. Two-man game. Stone and Chiozza with 7:38 to go in the first half.
Yeah, Florida is rebounding with Kentucky so far.
Gak hands to Hudson. Hudson over Green. No. Loose ball foul. Kentucky going after the boards, but they're throwing the body around as well. Foul against Kentucky. 22-17. Gators lead it. A timeout. Look at our game summary. Early on, Kentucky was shooting it well, but since that 6 of 12 start, Wildcats are one of their last 9. Florida opened up 7 of 12. They've gone 1 of 7. Rebounding numbers are tight in the early going.
And Hudson obviously has been a factor. Versatile player, versatile scorer, looking to drive the basketball. Here's a nice little pull-up. Slides away from the defender, and nobody home for Kentucky, so they take advantage of it on the transition, which they have to do because they've not been shooting the ball from the three-point line against this team. They're 1 of 6. Florida is against Kentucky. Did not have any success the last time they played. They were 6 of 30 against Kentucky.
To the corner, Allen.
Wow, lucky there.
Second foul called on P.J. Washington before the timeout for Kentucky. 22-17 Florida. We approach 7 minutes to go in this first half from Gainesville.
Let's see, if you stand still, Kentucky becomes even longer defensively. You have to move them around.
Stone a 3. Short.
Yeah, not a good set for Florida.
Rebounded by Vanderbilt. Get it ahead. Knox to the hoop. Floater, no. Long rebound to Allen. He's pushing the tempo.
Yeah, good balance, though, tempo-wise. Defensively, Green, first one back.
Gak to the hoop. Counted and a foul. Gorjok Gak with a chance at a three-point play for Florida.
He only scores 2 a game, but if they can get points out of him, that's very, very important. And here he is. There's a slice. Nobody defensively. Vanderbilt out of position that time again. The weak side is where Coach Cal is going to have to make some decisions and adjustments because his weak side defenders are not really helping out on the drives.
Second foul on Vanderbilt. So 2 on Vanderbilt, 2 on Washington. For Florida, Kulichov has 2. And Gak, a 35% shooter, drains the free throw.
He's now 9 for 24 on the season, but they'll take it. Everyone's important.
Florida's got its largest lead. It's an 11-3 run. Gabriel hands to Gilgeous-Alexander.
See if he can get himself in the middle of the paint, but you got to do it carefully.
Lob it up. Richards couldn't catch it.
Tough angle.
Here's Chiozza. Driving. Gets it back from Stone. Chiozza. Ball fake. Shot clock is down to 10. Chiozza. Kick out. Stone. Book it. Chris Chiozza is Florida all-time assist leader. He sets up Stone. And Chiozza passes Irving Walker for the top spot.
And Florida in command early, and watch Chiozza the way he sets his teammates up, Ian. He is just absolutely incredible. It's simple basketball. Watch how he brings Richards, number 4, right there, into the lane defensively, and all he has to do is set the table for one of his shooters, Stone, and he just lets it fly. Well done. What a career.
Chris Chiozza, pure point guard, brings that attacking style, but gets his teammates involved as Kentucky makes another change. Sasha Kalia-Jones is in. They're just searching for something. Yeah. They've missed 9 of their last 10 shots. Lob it up, and Kalia-Jones finishes. Nice setup by Gilgeous-Alexander. That's a lot of hyphens. 28-19 Florida. Kick it. Stone leans in. Missed it badly. Long rebound to Knox.
Oh, great play defensively by Allen.
Kayvon Allen picks his pocket. 2-on-1. Stone lays it in. Perfectly executed.
Yeah, that was Knox, who predetermined that he was going to go all the way to the basket, and he did that from half court, and Allen just perfectly stripped him down low on the floor.
30-19 Florida.
They've been looking for Knox on the blocks, but they just can't get it to him. Wow, look at Chiozza. Not even allowing it on an easy pass.
Green, the jumper. He's got it for 3. Kavarius Hayes stepped on Green. He was looking for a call after the fact. 30-22 Gators. We are under 5 minutes to play now in this first half. Hudson, nice ball fake. Hudson sticks it.
Yesterday, remember John Calipari said when we're coming out to the three-point shooters, when they fake, we want to fake with them and not leave their feet. Kentucky is out of sorts defensively on the perimeter. Every time they see a ball fake, they leave their feet, allowing a little push to the middle. 11
points for Jalen Hudson, and a foul on Allen reaching in on Gilgeous-Alexander.
So here's Knox. He's thinking, oh, I'm going to go right through 4 guys and get a layup. Not quite. Nice release there by Allen. Again, unselfish basketball to get a 2-on-1 break. And here comes Hudson. Ball fake. You leave your feet just a little bit. They're going to pay. They'll take 2-point shots. And Mike White said, we'll take the 2s. We'll take the drives. We get the drives. We better finish against this length of Kentucky.
Kentucky is 1-7 this season when held to less than 70 points, and scoring's an issue. Another turnover for the Wildcats. That is turnover number 8 for Kentucky. Hudson, little bump. Under 4 minutes to go in this first half. Allen lines it up. Bottom. It's a 3.
Yeah, he's not had a great shooting year for him. Better last year. But overall, if he gets an opportunity, they are now playing to this crowd. The crowd is all wound up. The players are even further in terms of being hyped up, but they're doing it under control.
Another number that sticks out, Kentucky has 1 free throw attempt. They lead the SEC in free throw attempts per game with 25.
Yeah, no touches on the blocks.
Gilgeous-Alexander, high arcer. He's fouled by Stone. Florida has 14 points off of 8 Kentucky turnovers. And Chris Chiozza, that calming influence on senior day, celebrating a fantastic career here in Gainesville, and now the all-time assist leader in Florida basketball history. 35-22, Gators in front. The madness is upon us. In or out in the SEC, this is a deep conference, Jimmy, and there will be some tough decisions to make on Selection Sunday.
Clearly there will be, and you know, you look at this probably from Florida all the way up to Auburn. Those teams seem to be okay. A little bit of work for Alabama and Mississippi State, but you're right, this has been a really inconsistent type of conference because they've, just like a lot of conferences, they've been banging one another around. Teams that you'd think you would beat, like Florida going down to Kentucky in their first matchup and winning there. You wouldn't have expected that. A lot of different things have happened in this conference.
The SEC tournament is next week in St. Louis as Gilgeous-Alexander comes up short of the free throw line. 82% shooter this season. Only 2 Kentucky starters have scored. Gilgeous-Alexander and Knox. No points for Richards, Gabriel, or Diallo.
Your point well taken, too, with the lack of free throws by Kentucky. They got to get either going to the basket with it or going to the post. Either way to get some free points.
87.5% of their points have been scored by freshmen. That is the most in the nation. 35-24, Florida.
They're lost again defensively.
And Hudson makes them pay. It's a 3.
Yeah, they are just totally lost on the perimeter defense. A couple of screens. They're not really like big banging type screens by Florida. They're exchanging, just moving to open spots and tracking shots.
And the Gators have their largest cushion. Hudson with 14. Gilgeous-Alexander, the length to avoid the defender and get the deuce. 8 points. Chiozza rushes up the floor.
Yeah, he keeps the pressure on you with the basketball as much as anybody.
Matched up with Green. The back in by Chiozza. Forced to give it up. 15 to shoot. Hudson against Gabriel. Step back. Oh, he's really feeling it. Jalen Hudson is lethal.
And he's doing that against the defender who's 6'9" in Gabriel, who didn't really he didn't shake him much on the first move. Gabriel right there again. Florida's just really amped up.
17 for Hudson. Gilgeous-Alexander trying to take over for Kentucky. He's got 10 of their 28 points.
If you're Kentucky now, you got to think of getting a couple of stops.
Allen, good find. It's a GAC attack.
That's the middle of the floor attack also. This is a clinic by Florida.
43-28 Gators. Gilgeous-Alexander, left hand, scoop shot, no. Rebound dug out by Allen, and now Florida will slow it down a bit. 1:38 to play in this first half.
Nice look.
Inside, the layup goes. Kevarius Hayes, and everything is clicking for the Gators.
And Kentucky has no choice but to call a timeout right now. This is ridiculous. What a clinic by Florida at the offensive end of the floor. And look at this, a team that defends the three-point stripe as well as just about anybody in the country. They are not reacting defensively, Kentucky. Hudson just lighting them up.
Florida has made 7 consecutive shots. They're doing it outside. They're doing it inside. They're now at 57% shooting.
That's why I think Kentucky's having a problem figuring out who to put on the floor right now. Well, loose again.
Diallo will save it. Green lines it up, and he drills it. It's a 3.
They'll take that 3 because that was very, very close to another turnover.
Quade Green from downtown, 45-31.
This is where they rely on Chiozza too. Make sure they get a good shot. Little 2-3 zone. The first time we've seen it.
Hudson, keep it on the outside. Chiozza, 1 minute to play in this first half.
Well, you got to set a couple of screens on the big guys. There's one right there. They didn't do it.
Chiozza on a fade, rims out, rebound, knocked over to GAC, and last touch by Florida, out of bounds. Coming up, AT&T at the half. Greg Gumbel, Clark Kellogg, Seth Davis, They'll have all of today's early highlights, including Xavier looking to secure its first Big East title. That's coming up on AT&T at the half. (45-31) Florida. Knox puts it on the deck, drives in, and loops it off the glass.
Got a smooth offensive game, no question about that. 3 of 7 only from the floor. He's got his 8 points. Kentucky needed that bucket. They could also use a stop right here. Keep it at 12.
Shot clock is turned off. We're down to 14 seconds to play in this first half.
They get a stop here. Kentucky may go into the half, believing that the zone might be the way to come out in the second half.
Allen, 5 seconds. Allen strokes it. Oh, he's got it. It's a 3.
So much for the zone.
Time expires. The Florida Gators playing their best basketball of the season.
Last 2 possessions, Kentucky, we can't stop a man-to-man. Let's go zone. Forget about it. Wow. What an explosion by Florida and totally under control.
End of the first half in Gainesville, 48-33. The Gators on top of the Wildcats. Time to head to New York and Greg Gumbel. Let's go nuts. The halftime entertainment. Gators go nuts in the first half. They shoot 56%, and they've got the 15-point lead over Kentucky. I, Andy, go along with Jim Spanarkel, the rest of our CBS crew. The tournament is right around the corner. You're Mike White. You have to be thrilled with the way your team is playing, getting ready for postseason action.
I think he loves the way his team played. And keep in mind, with that shooting percentage that you just mentioned, they had 4 turnovers, none of them costly. Kentucky couldn't go down the other end. Kentucky, 8 turnovers, 14 points going the other way for Florida. So this has been a real clinic in terms of first half offensive half-court presence by the Gators.
All right, let's check out our first half stats brought to you by Reese's and what has to change for Kentucky. Obviously, the offensive numbers have to get better, but defensively, you really keyed on the issues.
Yeah, I think, first of all, they just have to come out and man up. I mean, they played it zone the last couple of possessions of that half and didn't go real well. Florida, on the other hand, Chiozza has just been remarkable, not turning the basketball over for 17 minutes that he's been handling it. The shooting superb in terms of just being able to know when to shoot, the timing of their sequences, even when they had one-on-one opportunities. Florida overall, individually, for Mike White, very, very comfortable in terms of shooting. And look at that. I think that's very important. 6 of 30 the last time they met from the three-point stripe. Already 6 of 13 right now.
That's 46% from downtown for Florida. 48-33 Gators. Vanderbilt gets the nod to start this second half. The spin move and the bank shot for Jared Vanderbilt.
I would expect the first 5 minutes of this second half that Kentucky plays, if they shoot the ball from the outside, they better look to get it to the blocks first.
Yeah, it's a 13-point lead for the Gators. Foul trouble for Kulichov in the first half. They blitz him, working around the perimeter. Chiozza probing, high floater off the window. Chris Chiozza banks it in high.
Had the appearance of almost a trick shot. He had to go so high with that. Just continue to impress.
Washington getting the nod, denied. Washington had it blocked by Hayes, but a foul called. Washington and Vanderbilt starting the second half.
Yeah, a little split there, and Chiozza goes right by the outside man. Look at how high he goes off the glass. Incredible. Vanderbilt trying to block it. He just understands when to get his shot off so well, leading the charge. First half, by the way, 1 turnover for the starters for Florida.
P.J. Washington, 62% shooter, off the mark.
So when things aren't going well for you on the road and you're a young team, the little things like making your free throws helps to build some confidence. You could just see it on a couple of faces just then of the Kentucky players. Oh, we just missed an easy one, a free throw.
1 out of 2 for Washington. John Calipari going with that Washington-Vanderbilt combo. He said it's been like buddy basketball. Yes. They just get one another, and then it rubs off on the rest of the team. Chiozza to the rim. Foul called against Vanderbilt. Jared Vanderbilt, 7'1" wingspan. Still curious as to how the whistle was against him. His 3rd foul. Bracket week is underway on CBS Sports Network with conference championship games in the Colonial, Patriot, and Conference USA, plus late round games from tournaments all over the country. Don't miss any of the action all week long on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Chiozza, 79% shooter, big Allen Iverson fan growing up. And the way that he approaches the game, you just never see him get too high or too low. Has a large contingent on hand here on senior day in Gainesville.
And ironically with him, a very good free throw shooter, but he came into this game over the last 5 games only 1 for 9 from the free throw line. How do you figure that?
3 of 4 here this afternoon. 52-36, Florida. Gilgeous-Alexander, he got the step on Allen and a foul called against Kayvon Allen of Florida.
Watch for the Kentucky sets now. They're going to set some high screens for the guards and try to slip to the basket and see if the Florida rotation works defensively.
Kentucky comes in averaging 77.6 points per game. That's good for 4th in the SEC.
Well, another hold in the middle of the floor, I believe, on Hayes.
It is Kevarius Hayes, the junior from Live Oak, Florida.
So you see the little different adjustment that John Calipari has made. Basically said to his guys at halftime, we are going inside, and already they're getting some fouls called.
Gilgeous-Alexander drains the 3.
And that's all because Florida has to protect inside. They know Kentucky's going to start coming at them. So offensively on the outside and the perimeter, just like we saw, a couple of open shots for Kentucky.
13 points for SGA. High man for Kentucky. 13-point lead for Florida. Chiozza flicks it to the corner. Kulichov, foul was called before the shot. Shot won't count for the grad transfer Igor Kulichov. 3rd foul against P.J. Washington. So as of this moment, SEC tournament, obviously this is a fluid situation with Florida and Kentucky. Florida can capture that number 3 seed with a win. Same situation for Kentucky. And it also comes with a double bye. You drop down to 5 and you don't have that advantage. Kentucky's 5 of 8 from 3-point territory.
Vanderbilt and Washington with 3 fouls each. Maybe some subs at the bench. I'd get them out of there.
Here's Allen, fend off against Washington. Nice find! Kulichov roaming baseline.
You know, with Kulichov, I know he wants to play in a power forward position, but he plays almost like a 2 guard. So now you have 4 guys on the floor who can really act as guards for Florida. And when they play well together and they're really fluid, they are tough out at the defensive end.
That is 5 assists for Kayvon Allen. Green. Short. Kulichov saved the play. Wow, Chiozza. Lock it up. A special delivery. Jalen Hudson. Big finish.
Well, what happens on this play, the key is watch Chiozza. The ball gets kicked out. Now watch how low to the floor he gets right there. He beats his man to the spot, inches off the floor, and then it's the big-time delivery. It is senior day here in Florida. 2 of their seniors obviously are going to make this play and make it happen in a hurry. Watch Kulichov. He's going to go after this basketball. Once it's deflected, he saves it. And watch all of a sudden, Chiozza, the leader of this team, just scoops it up off the floor. And what a perfect, and I mean perfect, 2-on-1 break going upstairs.
So Florida has built the lead to 17. Still early in this second half. Kentucky riding a 4-game winning streak. And their offense has been nearly unstoppable during that stretch. Diallo, the jumper, no, just grazes the rim. And Kevarius Hayes with a rebound.
To this point, I have not seen anything that's working for Kentucky.
That was deep. Kulichov buries it from Orlando.
You know, with the energy level too, Ian, as a senior, you can play off that. You can get a little bit more range because there's so much energy in your body.
A 20-point lead for the Gators. 7-0 run for Florida.
One of the game plans, get it down the floor so Kentucky can't use their length. Wow, you got to be extra long to get out to that one.
Florida opens up the second half, 4 of 4 from the field. And on senior day, we've had senior highlights.
To this point, even the first few minutes of this second half, other than trying to plug it down to the post a little bit, nothing at all working for Kentucky.
No answers for the Wildcats. Green playing alongside Gilgeous-Alexander in the backcourt. Kentucky searching. Diallo. No. Gabriel. That won't go. And the rebound ripped down by Hayes. Florida's up to 61% shooting.
Gabriel with the rebound, but a float away also. One team that's so confident, Florida at the offensive end. Now they're against the zone. Watch out.
Kulichov, it's a three.
You can see that coming a mile away with that defensive effort there. They are not reacting, Kentucky, at all to the corners, to the perimeter, and Florida just playing at a different level.
It's target practice right now for the Gators.
Earlier in the season, when I did a South Carolina game, Mike White said that they could beat any team in the country, and he looked at me and said, but we could also lose to any team in the country. They beat just about anybody the way they're playing right now. 10-0
run. Gabriel's three will quiet the crowd, at least for a moment. Florida comes in averaging 76 points per game, 5th in the SEC. Hayes coughs it up, and the loose ball, a tie-up. Florida will retain it. Igor Kulichov, a quiet first half. Kulichov putting on a shooting exhibition here in the second. All right, Jimmy, let's check out our AT&T fast analysis.
Well, what a day for Chris Chiozza. The senior day for seniors, just a great memory. And if you can play well during it, it's even better. And Chiozza just lighting it up. And the thing about him is you just can't find one thing that he does and highlight on it. There's so many different things. He just fills up the stat sheet and the highlight reel.
7 points for Chiozza, 4 assists. Now the all-time leader in career assists. His family in attendance. His mom, Curtis Dean, his dad, Chris, siblings, grandparents. Chiozza from Memphis, Tennessee, White Station High School. What a career he's put together for the Gators. There were thoughts he might transfer after Billy Donovan left. He decided to stick with it, and he and Mike White have formed a very close connection. 62-42, Florida with the shot clock winding down for Kentucky. Spin move, Knox draws the foul.
Once again, the emphasis to the middle of the floor.
Tuesday on CBS. Come on down for an episode that will keep you guessing. The Price is Right host Drew Carey guest stars on a powerful new NCIS. That's Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on CBS.
Over the last 4 games, Kentucky has been averaging 88 points a game in their 4-game winning streak. You look at this team today and you just wonder how could they have scored that many points consistently over the last 4. They're just so out of it offensively.
They are 20-2 this season when they score 70 points or more. This team has looked more like the team that we saw during the 4-game losing streak, where offense was a problem and defensively there were issues. They seem to clean all those up heading into this regular season finale against Florida. Kick it out. Okaru, left hand.
One of the difficult parts that Kentucky is going to have to face for the last 14.5 minutes is Florida playing with confidence, and they do not turn the ball over that often. So you got to get some flat-out stops.
All right, some teams making headlines around college basketball. Virginia Tech, that thrilling win over Duke. Tack that on with victories over North Carolina, Virginia. Oklahoma struggling. Notre Dame bringing Bonzie Colson back. St. Bonaventure, what a stretch for them. And the Ragin' Cajuns setting a school record for victories. I just like saying it.
Yeah, I knew you were going to get that in. Bonnie's with a big win against Rhode Island recently, too.
Gilgeous-Alexander hit every bit of the rim and still comes off. And it's going the other way as Kuleshov got knocked to the floor.
I think that was Vanderbilt again. That's going to be his fourth.
So that is Vanderbilt, who has not had a huge impact on the offensive end. Normally his energy provides a team with a lift. But this is a 20-point game with just about 6 minutes gone by in the second half. Florida still hasn't missed, by the way, in the second half. They're 6 of 6. Vanderbilt will sit for the Wildcats.
And they have the ability to go half court, just real methodically, and then what Florida will do is if they get a turnover, they'll put you to sleep a little bit, and then off to the races they go. Been a great mix and matching. Oh boy.
Hayes, what a fake! Comes up short. Denied by Richards, and a foul called.
And a little bit of a ball fake. He curls to the basket. And watch, Richards is going to get back into this play and throw his body at Hayes, and Hayes will go to the line for a pair. 52% on the season from the free throw line.
Active big man. And keep in mind, they lost John Egbunu, the senior, for the season. Torn ACL. Egbunu was supposed to be a big part of what Florida was going to establish on the inside. Hayes was forced into duty last year, stepped forward, very well liked by his teammates, a team guy. There's Egbunu, senior day. He was honored pregame along with Chiozza and Kuleshov. And they've asked more of Hayes because of that. Another turnover.
Here's where they blitz. Okay, good decision not to shoot that one.
Okara, no look. Ball fake by Kuleshov. Stone, scoop, no. Richard, Stone. Out of bounds, Kentucky takes over.
The big guy's defending pretty well. Kuleshov, I guess, tipped that right away to the baseline. Close, though, wasn't it?
It was.
Think it was Richards? He didn't think so. He disagrees with me, too. You know what we haven't seen with this long team for Kentucky? We haven't seen any lobs and dunks, really. You know, that's usually one of the things in their offense that they go for.
They've had 2 attempts. Getting inside, Washington counted and a foul. Still a lot of time left. 13:06 to play. If you're Kentucky, I know it's hard to avoid the disparity, but try to forget about the score. Play good basketball and walk out of here feeling positive about something with the regular season wrapping up. 16 fouls against Florida, so that could mean a lot of free throws for Kentucky the rest of the way.
Yeah, and I think if you're Kentucky, one thing I would do is I would continue to change defenses, maybe every other time down the floor. Chiozza is so good at picking them out, though. But you have to do something to rattle a team that doesn't turn the basketball over.
Kentucky came in as one of the best perimeter defensive teams in the country. They keep teams at 29% from three-point territory, but it's been a problem here. Florida is 8 of 15 from downtown.
And I don't remember a bad three-point shot attempt by Florida. Oh, good hands.
Washington stripped of the ball.
I think that was Gack who got it initially. Allen ends up with it.
Allen, a foul. It was going to either be a travel or a foul, and it's a push on Quade Green. Coming up, the Big Ten Tournament semifinals. We've got it for you here on CBS. The number 1 seed Michigan State taking on number 5 seed Michigan, number 7 seed Penn State, and number 3 Purdue. Doubleheader following our action live from the Garden on CBS.
So here's the 2-3 look. They switch again from the man-to-man.
Allen a 3. Long rebound to Stone.
Sometimes you forget to block out a man and just turn for the glass. That Stone, long shot, long rebound.
Pull-up jump. Rainbow delivery doesn't go for Hudson. And the rebound tracked down by Gabriel.
This is going to sound crazy, but this is a big possession for Kentucky to see if they can get something in consecutive.
Gabriel, back of the iron. Rebound. Richards leans in. He's fouled.
So he'll shoot 2 on this one, but that's a 17 foul. So they've effectively changed that part of their game a little bit compared to the first half.
And it's the third foul on Stone. Nick Richards is a 75% shooter. Another McDonald's All-American on this team. He has not scored. He does not have an official field goal attempt. And he misses on his first free throw attempt of the day. Diallo in. Diallo has also taken the collar. He's 0 of 4. Okaro sits for Florida. So does Stone. 12-13 mark of the second half.
Yeah, sometimes your size matters, but today so far the quickness and stability of Florida has really paid dividends.
Gack taps the ball to himself, and it's out of bounds. So Kentucky will maintain possession after the 2 misses by Richards.
So they're getting an activity. Even after those 2 misses, they go after the ball. A little bit of pushing. Good work just then by Gabriel.
The winning streak has come against Alabama, Arkansas, Missouri, and Ole Miss. But Kentucky is 5-7 in road and neutral site games this season. Bounce it inside. Washington gets a touch against Kulichov. Washington turns. That thing was halfway down.
No, I know.
That's goaltending on Gack.
That was fun to watch, though. A little message sent.
Gorjak Gack.
Wow.
A little late. 2 on the board for Kentucky. A timeout. Back here in Gainesville, 64-48. Florida in control against Kentucky. Wildcats trying to make a run here. The HBC, the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier, 1966 Heisman Trophy winner, and still wearing that Florida orange, very proud.
Sure does.
Mike White said he got a long voicemail from Steve Spurrier the other day, just giving some thoughts, and right at the end of it he said, "Don't have to call me back. Don't call me back." And in fact, Mike's assistant said, "I think he's telling you he doesn't want you to call him back." So.
I call people back, though, when they say that. I don't know about you.
I think that was a one-way phone call.
Instructional phone call.
Steve is still so into the athletic program here in Gainesville, and he's developed a nice relationship with Coach White.
2-3 look again. Taking time off the clock. Florida not in a hurry.
Kulichov thought about it. Shot clock is winding down. Chioza, ball fake. Launches off balance. Bank shot, no. Rebounded by Gack. And a reload for Florida.
That's demoralizing because in this zone, Chioza's just going to wait it and see what develops. Not in any hurry. I'd be surprised if they take a shot unless it's wide open.
Kulichov runs into a wall.
I'm thinking under 10 seconds again.
Chioza trying to penetrate, 9 to shoot. Chioza pirouettes. The find on the baseline. It's Gack. No good.
What a beautiful look by Chioza. Another big-time possession here for Kentucky.
Diallo. He's going to the free throw line. Kulichov walks away after the call. A foul against Igor Kulichov. Florida has now missed its last 6 shots.
Watching this area here, watch how Chioza gets in trouble. Now he looks, and Gack makes a beautiful move and just doesn't finish it.
Hamidou Diallo, 62% free throw shooter. So opportunities here. Richards missing on a pair. Diallo.
They're only 6 of 12 from the free throw line.
They've shot it at 70% as a team this season. And that one goes through the hoop for Diallo.
So it goes through iron. Let's see if it does anything defensively for Kentucky. Did he change anything up? Green looks like he's picking up, but I don't know if he has any help.
Vanderbilt and Knox back in. Kentucky on a 10-2 run. We approach the midway point of this second half.
These 2 guys, Allen and Chioza, it's a nice backcourt playing with a big lead. You don't want to settle too much. You want to make sure you get into your sets.
And Vanderbilt is playing with the 4 fouls. Kulichov to Allen. Lines it up. That's an open look. Rebound to Kentucky.
Gack had his hand on that one, too. I think they're playing a little too slow, Florida, at the offensive end. Pick it up just a notch.
spread it. Knox.
They got a mismatch. How about Chiozza?
Got his hands on it. On a dump down for Washington, it wasn't clean, out of bounds.
Plus the backside, the weak side was going to help Chiozza on that play. Kentucky has to start getting better sets on both sides of the floor, pick up their pace a bit. There's that curl for Knox.
Knox got a body bump. The floater, no. Rebound, no good. Here come the Gators. Allen, a blast to the rim. Give it up. Gack. He's fouled by Wenyen Gabriel. So the resume for Florida, they come in at 19-11. Kentucky enters action at 21-9. Both teams are 10-7 in the SEC. For John Calipari, strength of schedule is always going to be excellent. The quadrant 1 wins, though, 3-7. Compare that to Florida. They've got 9 quadrant 1 wins.
Well, that's a weighting system, too. The quadrant 1 wins, you look at it, you know, it's games against and wins against the home when you're at home against teams that are 1 through 30, the neutral site games 1 through 50, and the away games 1 through 75.
Right now, Jerry Tom projecting Kentucky to be a 5 seed.
That's about,
obviously, you got to take this game into account. The SEC tournament could move them a bit. 65-49, Florida.
Yeah, and the question becomes what Kentucky team shows up, right?
Washington. Wow. Body bump on the inside. Florida is in some serious foul trouble, stacking up in this second half. And Kentucky will head to the free throw line. But the Wildcats are 7 of 13 from the stripe. It'll be Washington.
Yeah, at 62%, he's coming to the line. They need to be better than 1 for 2 at this point in the game.
They can crack double figures with a make, and does. Nick Richards in. They'll try to protect Vanderbilt as well with those 4 fouls.
6th straight game that Washington's gone over the 10-point mark consecutively.
And we know Kentucky always loses a lot of talent. And that's part of the process for John Calipari, working with new players and trying to put the puzzle together. The miss on the inside by Hudson. It is cleared by Knox.
That's where they try to catch you sleep in Florida, but they didn't deliver. So now all of a sudden, a little belief if Kentucky can score right now.
Florida has missed 8 straight shots.
And I think that's because they slowed down their pace a little bit for about a 3-minute period of time.
Gilgeous-Alexander working against Allen, 10 to shoot, gives up his dribble. Richards pulls the trigger and connects. Nick Richards from the outside for Kentucky.
Yeah, my first look now is over to Mike White, see what he's trying to figure out over there. He has to run his best set against this zone. Much for the
Washington gets a piece.
Yeah.
Another turnover. Washington got bumped, gives it up. 14-3 extended run for the Wildcats. It'll go through Gilgeous-Alexander on a bounce inside. Contact. Offensive foul. P.J. Washington with a discard.
Yeah, his number 4 on him. He's going to lead totally with the body. Relatively easy call for the official. Watch the left side of his body. Kulichov is just waiting for him. It's a pretty good defensive effort. Foul problems mounting up. That's why Washington exits with his 4. Vanderbilt has 4 also.
So Diallo back in for Kentucky. Kulichov will sit for Florida. There was an opening there for Kentucky to cut this to 10 or even 9, depending on shot selection. Florida has scored just 1 point over the last 6 minutes and change.
So when they were going against the man-to-man defense, they were taking their time under 10 seconds. Now the zone is forcing them to do that. Calipari can wait that out. This is 8:20 left in this game.
Allen launches, rims out on a 3, rebounded by Gabriel for Kentucky.
Weren't those shots going in the first half?
They were.
That looked good, too, from our perspective.
Contact out front. Gilgeous-Alexander. It's a hook. Offensive foul. Trying to turn the corner on Chiozza.
So watch for the left hand.
against a smaller player. Not yet, not yet. Yeah, it's hard to see through that body. Not much, though. I didn't think much at all. I think you let the play that one on.
Chiozza drive and kick to nowhere.
It's a couple of turnovers for him, too.
Sloppy play in the second half for Florida. The lead has shrunk to 12 for the Gators. Look at the game summary. Florida's numbers still look good, but it's been a rough stretch for Florida. And Kentucky starting to make a move here against the Gators. Big theme for Florida today on Senior Day. It's been the play of their experienced guys.
You know, Chiozza's really just led, even though he's had 2 turnovers in the last 2 minutes or so. Kulichov along the baseline, and everything was going well for this team in the first half. They were playing with the energy of a Senior Day. And now all of a sudden they have to be careful, because I think they have to get their tempo back at the offensive end of the floor. You look at 20 points between the two of them. More importantly, they got to get a stop right now.
Well, you could sense Kentucky is gaining some confidence here and belief.
Maybe a knocks around the little baseline. We haven't seen him run the baseline at all for Kentucky. See if they can get him involved, because he's been relatively quiet, even though he has 10 points with just 3 of 8. He likes that curl off the baseline cut.
Florida has missed 9 consecutive shots.
And they held him. They were coming across. And Knox will go to the line because they held him on that curl cut.
And he's a 77% free throw shooter. Double bonus here.
Yeah.
Foul trouble, Vanderbilt and Washington 4 apiece for Kentucky. Kulichov, Hayes, and Stone with 3, and that actually is now number 4 on Hayes. So Knox trying to make this a 10-point game. 7:44 mark, second half.
He used all of the rim to get that one to go, didn't he? All of a sudden you get a bucket here and you get 1 turnover. If you're Kentucky, then your mental edge totally changes. That's why it's important for Florida to come back and answer.
1 out of 2. Knox is now 4 of 5 at the free throw line. It's an 11-point differential.
Picking it up a little bit. Still in the zone, 2-3 zone. I go to the middle of the floor with a guy who can handle it. Get a little flash from Stone, and then go to your baseline.
Hudson's been quiet since that burst in the first half. It's a 3. Wow, way off.
Wow, is that way off.
Rebounded by Gilgeous-Alexander. Florida is 0 of its last 10.
See if he gets to the middle. There he goes.
The crossover, the kick. Diallo.
Wow.
That's an air ball. Saved by Knox. Grabbed by Richards. Shot clock's at 14. Knox fires a 3. Short. Long rebound. Tracked down by Diallo.
And Kentucky's at least going after the ball on the offensive end now. They've picked up their energy level. They need to hit a shot, though.
They're 3rd in the SEC in rebounding. Gilgeous-Alexander, sneaky play, going to the hoop.
Not only is it the quickest way to go underhand when you go into the basket, but then he tucks it to his left hand, because then the defender can't see where the ball is. He's going for the right hand. Now all of a sudden, the Florida fans aren't as loud as they were in the first half of this game.
It's a 7-0 run. The lead is single digits. Hudson makes his move. Baseline, Chiozza. Knox is there. On a kick. Hudson fires the 3. Rimming in. Jalen Hudson gets the bounce.
Did Chiozza ever make a good play out of a fumbled opportunity along the baseline? A big answer just then for Florida. They needed it badly.
Hudson nails a 3 to give Florida the 68-56 lead. Hudson now with 22 points on 8 of 14 shooting. Out of the timeout for Kentucky.
Gilgeous-Alexander trying to get things untracked.
That won't go. Short. Rebound cleared by Kulichov. Chiozza with a head of steam. Cut off there by Gilgeous-Alexander. Corner. Hudson rims out. But they cough it up. Kentucky had it. Turnover, Wildcats, and a foul on Green. Foul was on the floor. And that was a clear opportunity for Kentucky to get out in transition. But they turned it over. Second foul on Quade Green, and it sends Kulichov to the free throw line. Florida is 9 of 14 at the stripe, rimming in. Igor Kulichov put up big numbers in his final year at Rice. And the numbers have been very solid this year for Florida.
Yeah, with him on the floor and also with Allen, they're terrific free throw shooters. Both of them at about 90, Allen at 92. Haven't been able to get the lob inside the isolations. They're trying, but
Richards, the jump shot, no good. Saved by Allen for Florida.
Mike White is happy to take that shot. Have them take that shot from the 15-foot mark.
Allen the dish. Stone! The slammer!
Last 2 minutes, Florida has picked up the attack mode. They went 5 or 6 minutes really methodically trying to pick it apart. Now all of a sudden it's bang, 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 and they're back in the driver's seat in a big-time way.
Kentucky had cut it to 9. 72-56. Florida getting back to business. Jim Nantz, Bill Raftery, Grant Hill, Tracy Wolfson, and our CBS crew standing by at Madison Square Garden. The Big Ten semifinals, Michigan State and Michigan, followed by Penn State and Purdue. We'll have the championship game for you as well. That'll be tomorrow on CBS. Florida led by 15 at the half. Kentucky got it down to 9, but the 7-0 run has given the Gators a 16-point lead with just over 5 minutes to play.
So they're looking for post-ups, and they just can't get in, and there's a little bit of a grab. They're trying to get Knox on the right post. He'll go to the line for a pair.
Foul on Jalen Hudson.
But the perimeter guys for Florida have done a very good job of keeping themselves in front of the ball and their player, not allowing easy entry passes to the post. They've been doing that all afternoon. Very well defensively.
Kevin Knox is 4 of 5 at the free throw line. Off the mark. Nick Richards back in. Vanderbilt to the bench for Kentucky.
Yeah, the opportunities they've had at the line, Kentucky, are only 10 of 18.
Second one goes down for Knox.
Look for a trap here if they can. Chiozza's a difficult guy to trap.
Florida had lost 3 in a row. They've posted back-to-back wins over Auburn and Alabama. A win here for Florida. They'll be the number 3 seed in the SEC tournament. Step back, Allen, short. Rebound tracked down by Stone.
Gilgeous-Alexander was almost as if he was nailed to the floor just then. Didn't move his feet at all to go get that one.
Hudson, no hesitation. And another offensive board for Stone. And despair for Kentucky.
31 rebounds, 13 on the offensive side.
Backdoor, Hudson. Oh, he might have tweaked the ankle. The jump shot goes for Kayvon Allen.
Yeah,
the problem now, Hudson is struggling.
Let's see if he can play through it. Maybe a little bit twist.
If you're Kentucky, go to Knox. They do, and he misses the 3. Hudson trying to keep up with his teammates. Chiozza motors to the rim and passes into the front row.
You don't get to say it too often, but that wasn't a good decision by Chiozza just then with his big lead. Pull it back, take time off the clock.
Jalen Hudson had the hot hand here today, but the concern right now is whether or not that ankle is an issue for their leading scorer. And looking at this Hudson injury again, it's more leg-based for Hudson as he made that cut. And he started grabbing the thigh, the quad area. And Hudson is going to remain on the floor, so apparently nothing serious for Hudson. Just under 4 minutes to go in this second half.
Yeah, could have just felt the knee of Richards coming across his thigh just then, but best thing you can do if it's not serious is just keep playing those bumps and bruises.
Kentucky had chances. Wildcats did not capitalize, especially at the free throw line. 75-57 Florida. Washington hands and gets it back. Washington to the rim. Nice move. He couldn't finish. Tipped in by Vanderbilt.
See if Kentucky has any tricks defensively. You're going to see them right now. They got to get a little action going defensively to try to create something on the turnover, but only 10 turnovers for Florida.
Chiozza taking his time. Watched by Green. High screen set by Stone. Swing it. Kulichov. Ball fake. The dribble drive. Missed it. The flip. Cleared by Gilgeous-Alexander. We hit 3 minutes to play. Second half here in Gainesville. Green on the move. The pull-up jump goes down for Quade Green.
One of the things you got to show a little bit more sense of urgency here. Here they come with the double teams. Try to get Florida to play out of character a little bit without fouling.
75-61. 2:40 to go in this second half.
Florida's just too good in terms of not turning the basketball over. And they'll take this shot clock. Now it's down to 7.
Chiozza on a switch. He's got the bigger Washington against him. Jump shot, no. Tipped out by Kulichov, but caught by Green. Green trying to fake out Chiozza. They need a bucket here. Gilgeous-Alexander. 3-ball, no. Washington the board. Tries to bully inside, gets denied. And Kulichov is fouled by Green. With 2:11 on the clock.
Yeah, when Florida needs a stop, they really have stepped up consistently at the defensive side. And here's 3 of them. Tough call for the scorekeeper just then to see who he's going to give that block to. 3 Gators all over him.
Igor Kulichov. 89% of the free throw line this season. Wednesday on CBS. If you haven't seen SEAL Team, it's time to experience a whole new mission. Wednesday at 9, 8 Central on CBS. The second one is short for Kulichov. Florida comfortably in front. 15-point lead. Will hit 2 minutes to go. Gilgeous-Alexander switching hands and the foul. It's the last thing you needed if you're Florida, is to give Kentucky another chance at an extra point. 17 for the freshman from Canada.
He's very good at switching hands, especially at the last minute when he senses that a big guy is closing on him. That time Stone just could not get in front of him.
Gilgeous-Alexander, who initially committed to Florida, misses at the free throw line, reopened the recruitment process and eventually settled on Kentucky. 76-63, pressure. Chiozza handles it. Diallo, double team.
Beautifully done just then by Chiozza.
Play keep away.
Yep, knew exactly where Allen was.
And now if you're Kentucky, you can't foul. You've let the shot clock go down to 7. Allen on a switch with Washington. Allen, the spin. The flip for Kayvon Allen.
Could be the cap or 2 just then in terms of finishing that off in the middle of the floor.
78-63. Sealing the area, and Washington rocks the rim.
Yeah, that's what they've been trying to do the entire second half and just not able to get it. And this is where having really 4 guards on the floor. Kulichov basically can play like a guard, so they can spread it, they space it. And now you just have to make good passes.
1 minute to play.
No, he caught one in the face, I believe. Maybe
Chiozza. He's down. With 59.8 on the clock.
Yeah, that's inadvertent.
Diallo, he was going for the ball, and he got Chiozza in the face.
Whether it's intentional or inadvertent, it doesn't hurt any less, that's for sure.
Nope. It's the right eye of Chiozza.
See, he's just playing aggressive defense, like we mentioned. They got to get something going. It's, Kentucky trying this last 5 minutes to pick it up. There's the reaching. Chiozza kind of turns and looks.
Chiozza shakes it off. Florida 79, Kentucky 65. And Kulichov will get an ovation from this crowd. The grad transfer, a hug from his head coach, Mike White. His final game here at the O'Connell Center. 16 points.
What's it going to sound like now?
Chiozza.
Yep.
The Rowdy Reptiles giving Chiozza a memory that'll last forever.
Nothing like a senior day, Ian, especially if you get the win and you play well as an individual.
Diallo, no. Ripped down by Vanderbilt. Diallo, no good. He can't buy one.
Now,
he's 0 of 7 from the field, 0 of 3 from downtown. This will be the largest margin of defeat this season for Kentucky. The previous high was 11. The final 20 seconds in Gainesville. The team on Allen, taken away by Vanderbilt. And a foul called. With 12.9 on the clock, Vanderbilt will head to the free throw line. So the SEC standings up to the minute. Florida improves to 11-7. They will be the number 3 seed in the SEC tournament. Kentucky could drop to 5 depending upon what Arkansas does in its regular season finale.
Mike White has to love what he's seen this afternoon. When you think about their last 3 games, they've held opponents to 60 points, and a team that has been scoring with John Calipari's squad, 66 is not the number. They had been scoring at 88 points per game. What a defensive effort overall by Florida.
13-point lead for Florida. And the final seconds here on senior day for the Gators. Florida completes the season sweep against the Kentucky Wildcats. The Gators win it 80-67. And Florida will be the number 3 seed in the SEC tournament next week. For Jim Spanarkel, Ian Eagle saying so long from Gainesville. Florida over Kentucky coming up next. Michigan and Michigan State, the Big Ten Tournament semifinals. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports.